Tomorrow's treatments are being designed with cutting-edge, intelligent tech. Yet running clinical trials still involves the same level of insights as we had a decade ago. That's finally changing. Advarra is using AI to drastically improve how clinical trials are conducted. So what will this future look like in 2 years, 5, or even 10?
Over the next 5 years, I truly think we're going to move from isolated pilots to embedding AI across the drug development lifecycle, from discovery to how we design protocols, how we execute those studies, and how we generate evidence.
The way we design protocols with AI and the ability to bring together in silico models now to inform trials, it's rapidly changing. I imagine that the healthcare landscape is going to be unrecognizable from our standpoint, and the opportunity we have ahead of us looks a lot like Star Trek to me.
Clinical trial data has always been locked in static trial documents and siloed data systems untapped. But now, real trial operational data can be woven together with AI to guide clinical trials, making them less likely to need costly amendments or design changes, avoiding pitfalls throughout.
Of course, we have failures over the science itself. A molecule might not work, that's fine. What we're trying to eliminate, though, are the foreseeable protocol amendments or failures due to operational challenges or simply poorly framed science.
You realize midway through the study that some of the criteria you put in, some of the visits you put in, were too burdensome, that are causing the trial not to recruit or not to be able to achieve its endpoint.
If we're smarter about the way we're designing, we simulate and model what could happen and see it before we activate the trial. I think we can knock out probably 2/3 of the amendments that we make today.
Advarra, the largest central IRB and provider of enterprise solutions for leading research sites and institutions, has more cross-industry data about protocol design and operational performance than anyone else. By using AI to connect and mine that rich data set, we can understand what makes a clinical trial succeed or face challenges in the real world to build a future where clinical research will keep pace with the era of incredibly powerful intelligence we're entering.
Think about it, vast amount of this data is not even digitized. And we have 10, 15, 20 years worth of legacy data that sits in different domains and different systems across the same company. The idea is we digitize the vast troves of these data that exist in Word documents, unstructured forms. Imagine a scenario in which you can truly unlock the insights across hundreds of thousands of studies before you even start writing a protocol. Not starting from the precedent or just one trial worth of data or 10 trials worth of data, but models that are trained on thousands of different trials and studies from historical borrowing. Being able to predict the risks and the outcomes well before you've put the first patient in, that's what the future looks like.
The emergence of new technologies like large language models has created an incredible opportunity. We've been able to develop a very highly trained, precise, high quality model that extracts the protocol data in a structured format while also maintaining the hierarchy and the relationship between all of the critical data elements.
No protocol, no single clinical study stands on its own. What bringing together insights and operational information across the industry would offer is our ability to compare ourselves to the rest of the environment. All of the most interesting advances in human discovery and moving forward the state of being for humans globally always comes from open networks of collaborators willing to work with each other.
I think there's a tremendous opportunity for a company like Advarra to create that ecosystem in a way that's secure, in a way that is de-identified, and that can benefit the industry.
Beyond Advarra's unique vantage point and incredible position within the industry, we're at a moment in time where the technology is finally there that enables us to create this visibility. We have spent an incredible amount of time working through building an AI engine that's clinical trial domain specific. Part of that is being what some would call a universal translator. It speaks all of the different languages that you would otherwise see embedded within a clinical trial protocol. We're building the largest cross-industry data set from tens of thousands of study documents.
This is Braid, Advarra's AI-powered operational trial dataset. Braid generates insights and automates workflows. It helps improve trial feasibility, forecast operational outcomes earlier in study design, and makes the trial operations more efficient and less burdensome through downstream automation.
What we're trying to avoid now is landing it in an amendment and instead build it into the design from the beginning and get it right at the beginning. So I look at companies with information access and the insights that Advarra has as really unlocking us in ways that we simply can't ourselves, because that's not our job. We need independent viewers of that.
This is where AI has a tremendous opportunity. We're talking about historical trials data that can help us avoid the pitfalls of some of those historical studies, and then ultimately operations data. When we talk about operational data, we're talking about how a site has performed on a particular trial, how easy or difficult it was to enroll for a particular study, including the impact of inclusion-exclusion criteria or the impact of schedule of assessment. Bringing all those together is how we get to the best trial design.
So this new concept of real trial data, I think, takes us into an even more precise definition where we can achieve something comparable to an interventional trial, a controlled trial setting, but using available data and being able to discern the probability of causality related back to our molecules. That is a new opportunity for us as an industry that we haven't lived yet.
Decision-making in clinical trials will be based on more than static documents. They'll be based on intelligent digital protocols that can inform future trial designs, so the industry is continuously optimizing.
And once the protocol is digitized, it can automate all downstream trial activities. You can automate their system configuration. You can make that protocol machine readable. It's just information at your fingertips. That administrative burden just goes away.
We have to make this much more dynamic, much more adaptive, real-time.
Ultimately, it will mean the medical breakthroughs of tomorrow will reach the people who need them more quickly and more safely than ever before.
The technology is finally at a place that enables us to do this in a highly credible way that allows for confidentiality and privacy to be protected and data to be safeguarded, but also maintain it to be interoperable and usable and analyzable and just a limitless potential.
Models that are trained across 10, 15 years worth of data enables that generation of that wisdom that can drive our protocol strategy. From the very beginning, instead of waiting 6 months or a year into a trial and then making protocol amendments, that's where I see the biggest opportunity is, and that's what we're going for.
So the future of clinical trials is not just faster, it's wiser, it's more human, and it's something we are building together. Visit advarra.com/braid for more information.